All right, welcome back everybody. It's Cars Illustrated and we're here again at Portland International Raceway. This week we're testing this, the 2015 Acura TLX 3.5 SH all-wheel drive. Now if you wonder all about the acronyms with Acura, I don't know what they mean either. All I know is this is the car inbound for the outgoing TL and the ILX, combining it into one mid-size sedan. Now this particular model has a 3.5-liter V6 with 290 horsepower, backed by a 9-speed automatic and the super handling all-wheel drive system that pushes power front and rear depending on where it's needed. Now that may be more effective on a road course, but we're just gonna do one thing, drag race the hell out of it. Alrighty then, here we are once again to give you a rundown of what we do each time we test a new vehicle. But before I do that, I want to introduce to my left my good friend Mike Christopherson from ProTech Automotive. Say hello again, Mike.
Hello again, Mike. Your beard looks great tonight.
Thank you, I dyed it. I don't want to look like Santa Claus while I do this. Now, what we're gonna do is go through a baseline test, start with that, then we'll do tricks of the trade like tire pressure, loading up the converter, switching the schematic for the transmission up, and then eventually doing some other items such as exhaust and intake modifications. But hopefully, like I said, this car's been tested down in the mid-14s. If we're lucky, we'll get to the point where we need literally a helmet because we'll be at $13.99. So, are you gonna drive this weekend?
I think I'll beat you again.
Okay, well, you got to find some pants before you do that.
I'll have to look for some.
You ready? Okay, then maybe go look over there. We'll get started right now. All right, this is going to be our test run. Now, Mike and I kind of went over what we're going to do as far as a game plan. This one's going to be normal mode on the transmission. I'm not going to load the converter. We're not going to change tire pressures or anything. Just see what a baseline run is. Is that cool with you?
There's a bone stock car off the showroom.
There you go. Let's see what it'll do.
And one more down the racetrack.
Acura, by the way, calls this their new kind of thrill. A thrill is not a 15.3 and a 15.5 at 86 and 85 miles an hour. That would be a new kind of boring. First adjustment we're gonna make is I'm gonna change the schematic to the Sport Plus mode. Now there's Econ, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna load the converter up at the line and see if I can take time off the ET. By the way, these passes were made with the satellite radio on and the air conditioning blasting, so we'll change that for this pass too. All right, so in our two base runs, it ran an anemic 15.565 at 85 miles an hour and a 15.3 at 86, but that was with the AC on, the satellite radio going, and it was in what they consider their econ mode. So
and you had sat for a little while getting the car nice and warm.
And the car's heat soaked a little bit. And after we switched just the schematics on the transmission and I loaded the converter up at the start, we first started off with a 14.719 at 95 miles an hour and then cut it to a 14.6 at the same, a little quicker, 95.5 miles an hour. So our next thing is to do what?
Change the tire pressures.
That's what we're gonna do. We'll make a couple more runs, see if we can get a more acceleration out of the hole. All right, we are lowering the tire pressures right now, but we have to make a note of the all-wheel drive system. There's really no way to heat up the tires. It doesn't have nearly enough horsepower to do any kind of burn off to heat up the tires. But lowering the tire pressure can certainly give it a little more grip, let the tire kind of have some give in it to get more forward acceleration. I will say by watching the schematic in the dash, probably 75% of the power is actually going to the front wheels, which surprises me. I thought it'd be more equal, but maybe it's just because the car's pulling, the front end's coming up, so it's driving that power to the front wheels.
Lower the tire pressure as the tire gets hotter quicker.
See, that's why, I didn't know this, but actually I found this out about Mike. I've known him for 15 years, and he's actually on the PCC board of directors for automotive education in this area. So not only is he a fabulously good-looking man, his brain pan's like 10 times the size of mine.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah, you're a what?
I'm an advisor.
Oh, I'm sorry, he's an advisor. So he's only like this smart. All right, one of the things we definitely got to do is get some heat out of this thing. This ridiculously useless cover. All this thing's good for us. All right, I think we're gonna go. Tire pressures are down. Let it cool off for a minute, see what we can do. All right. right, I think we've done just about everything we can do besides actually altering the intake exhaust. We've taken air pressure out of it, I've changed the schematics, and we've actually seen some pretty decent gain. All right, Mike, you take the filter out of the air box and see if it's worth the time to change anything. I'll go back and take care of the exhaust. Copy.
I don't know whose truck that is, but we'll leave it there.
So the nice thing about these Acuras is they don't actually seal the entire exhaust. Now, and it does have a dual exhaust that cuts up from the catalytic converter, but what the nice part is this actually has the ability to be split, and I don't know if it's gonna make a bunch more horsepower, but we'll see if it can add a little bit of time to the, or a little bit of speed to the car. And it's hot as fuck. All right, so that literally sounded a lot better. It felt a lot better too. That was a 14,697 at 95.36. Why do you keep doing that? You think you can do better?
I think I can do better, but I'm gonna have to find some pants, like I said.
Well, I'll keep making passes till you find some pants.
All
so
right,
when you get some pants, we'll figure it out.
All right.
I've now taken over camera duties. Mike, where did you find your pants? Would it be our phenomenal audio video guy? Oh dear Lord. All right, well, Mike made the challenge once again to try to take me on as the master test review artist that I am for Cars Illustrated, and he lost miserably. I ran a 14.6, he was a 15.1. I think he actually made a sandwich when the light turned green. Or at least had a snack, I'm not quite sure. This one proves that today I'm the faster driver.
At this moment,
At this
you
moment.
were the faster driver. Well, I had it in Sport Plus, but I started shifting it, thinking that I was going to shift it at the right point. It just shows that Acura's done a good job with
There's a
getting those shift points
multi-million-dollar program that's just into making that 9-speed automatic shift. It's, you know.
Sometimes I feel like this is right up there with it.
So tank's in, line needs to be purged.
If I just pull the filter box out, I'll be able to see it. You just keep hitting it. As soon as I see some spray, I'll tell you to stop.
Copy.
We'll just let it sit for a second.
Okay. That's, I think, going to conclude our testing for Cars Illustrated on the 2015 Acura TLX 3.5 SH all-wheel drive. But I wanted to kind of recap where we started with on time. Now, we started way back at, gosh, where was it? A 15.565 and a 15.347. That was kind of disgusting. So between changing the schematics, taking the traction control off, changing some air pressure, messing with the intake and the exhaust, and then, well, ding, a little something after, we ended up at a 14,084 at 102 miles an hour. Here's the bottom line. The 2015 Acura has a tremendous amount of technology, and that's why you have guys like Mike and ProTech, because I wouldn't have a clue how to work on all the systems. They're all integrated, they all work together.
Everything's talking to each other.
It's amazing what they do with these new cars and technology. The problem is, even though technologically you would say probably very advanced car,
Yeah, very advanced, yeah.
okay, the problem is it looks like a wad of wet toilet paper thrown on the ground as far as styling. So, but if you're in the line for a sedan, something to check out. But as for us, we're gonna call it quits today. Make sure and go to carsillustrated.com. And before we go, I wanna make sure and thank Mike from ProTech Automotive, Acura, Portland International Raceway, and of course, my friends over at Page One and Drive One, the guys who supply the cars to us. And until next time, make sure and check out our brand new YouTube channel. Just go to Cars Illustrated on YouTube. Make sure and befriend us on Instagram and Facebook, just either one / Cars Illustrated. And until the next video, keep it in a straight line.
What's up, G? What's up, D-Bonnie?
He's like, what's with the head wrap? Receding hairline? And I took my head off. I was like, whoa. I know, but I can see by you, you're gonna be a fat little fuck. So when your mom and dad divorced,
This is the dipshit for both of them.